All right. Are we live? Can you guys see me? Can you hear me? Let me know in the live chat if you guys can see and hear me, if everything's coming through well. All right. Let me know. I'm looking at the live chat. Let me know if you can hear me, if you guys can. Is the audio good? Is the video coming through? I know sometimes there can be a slight delay. All right, looks like you guys can indeed hear me. All right, cool. So I'll give everyone a couple moments to roll in. As we know, it's been a little bit since I've done this. I was gone. I was out of the country. There's been a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes over the past month or so, 6 weeks, going back to, I guess it's June 9th, going back to mid to late April, the last time we had the opportunity to do a live stream. And obviously today is one of the biggest days in the Iran situation, as multiple sides are trading fire. We had a helicopter shot down earlier today, or I guess technically late last night, this morning. Trump vowing to respond, and those responses are currently underway with a variety of targets being struck across Iran. So we got a lot to get into. I'm going to let everyone roll in, give it a couple minutes. I am going to discuss why I was out of the country. Probably not going to get into all of it, but we'll get into what I can get into about that break that happened. I believe I left the country right around April 21st, April 22nd, didn't return till several days into May, and I had to go to multiple different locations. So we're going to get into that. You guys know the drill. First off, make sure you like the video. Make sure you're subscribed to the page. We want to make sure this information gets out to as many people as possible, and that YouTube is not stopping the message from getting out. The best way we can do that is, of course, like the video. And if you want to be in the live chat, you've got to be subscribed for at least 20 minutes. So definitely like and subscribe. And then you guys know the super chats. No super chat gets ignored. If you have a question, you send a super chat. It is guaranteed to get answered. So we are going to get into it. All right. It looks like we've got people rolling in here. It's now 7:09. We've got 786 concurrent viewers. Some people are, first off, everyone in the chat, let me know where you're watching from. Let's see some American flags. I see some people think that I was in Iran when I was gone. I was not in Iran. I can rule that out for you right now. Yes, I was not in Iran. So we got Florida watching. We got Wyoming in the house. Am I seeing what's happening in Belfast? I did. It's crazy. We got Long Island in the house. We got Wisconsin. You see the football helmets behind me. You know, we got Missouri, more Florida. We got Houston, Texas, Connecticut, Ohio, Curacao. Love the fact we got Curacao. We got foreign countries. We got North Georgia. We got Amarillo. We got an audience that spans wide and large. And I already love the first super chat I saw. I'm going to get to the first super chat as soon as we set the baseline of what's going on here. So let's roll into it. So it is, again, I want to be careful how we word things. It is a fluid and dynamic situation that we are looking at playing out in real time as of the night of June 9th. Now, maybe some of you are in a part of the world where it's not quite night where you are. Where I am, it is night. How did we get here? How did this chain of events start that we saw unfold today that resulted with an Apache helicopter being blown out of the sky? Fortunately, both crew members were rescued and are safe. They were actually rescued by drones, by water drones that were sent into the Strait of Hormuz to pick them up. And I saw some pictures of what these drones look like. They literally look like little stealth boats. And I guess you crawl up into the little stealth boat and then they just zoom you right out of there. So they shot down our Apache helicopter. President Trump made it clear we would have no option but to retaliate, and retaliate in a big way. So I'm going to put that statement up on the screen for you right now. Let me find it. So this is what Trump said earlier today. saying, I have just been informed by a great military that last night the Iranians shot down one of our highly sophisticated Apache helicopters while patrolling over the Strait of Hormuz. There were 2 pilots involved. Both are safe and uninjured. Nevertheless, the United States must, of necessity, respond to this attack. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Shortly after that, at 5:18 Eastern, CENTCOM announcing U.S. Central Command forces began launching self-defense strikes against Iran at 5 p.m. Eastern today at the Commander-in-Chief's direction in response to yesterday's downing of a U.S. Army Apache helicopter. The mission is proportional response to an unjustified Iranian aggression. So they shot our helicopter down, blew our helicopter out of the sky. Again, it is a miracle that those 2 men in that helicopter were not killed. And we should all say a prayer to the high heavens and the good Lord and God in Jesus Christ that those men walked away, I'm sure shaken up, rattled up, but alive. Now we are launching massive airstrikes in at least 5 different areas of Iran, hitting radar systems, hitting anti-aircraft systems, hitting their port areas. This is the largest scale of airstrikes we have seen against Iran, almost certainly since the ceasefire started. This is serious. This is not something that appears that a peace deal is imminent. And why is a peace deal not imminent? Because Iran does not want a peace deal. Why does Iran not want a peace deal? What Iran has learned during the ceasefire, and these are just the facts of the matter. I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you the facts of the matter. Since the ceasefire went into effect, Iran has bombed pretty much every Gulf country. They have bombed Israel. They have fired at our ships. They have bombed our locations in Kuwait, in Bahrain. They have repeatedly violated the ceasefire by unleashing strikes against the United States, our allies in the region, and our ships. And they've bombed commercial vessel ships. And they really haven't been punished for it. They have not gotten smacked in the mouth in a way that would deter them from doing it again. When you don't stand up to a bully and you let the bully get away with what they're doing, you invite more aggression. You invite more bad behavior. We should have knocked them out when we had all the momentum after rescuing the F-15 crew. We should have gone in and finished the job. And instead, we pulled back. Now, why did we pull back? Some people will say the market spooked things, the gas prices spooked things, we're running low on missile interceptors. To be quite honest, the only people who know that answer for sure are the people in the decision-making rooms at the White House and the Pentagon. But this, what we saw happen with our helicopter getting blown out of the sky, the fact the Iranians thought they were going to get away with shooting down a U.S. helicopter in international airspace over international water, they only did it because they hadn't been punished since the ceasefire went into effect, or at least not punished in a satisfactory way to establish deterrence. Well, now the airstrikes are underway. Now we are reestablishing deterrence. Now we're sending the message to the world and to the Iranians that we, quite frankly, are done with this. At least I hope that's how this plays out. I hope that that is what we see come from this. The fact of the matter as well is that there are no moderates in control in Iran. We have been told that the new leaders of Iran are very open-minded. They're negotiating with us. They have a lot of common sense. They're great people. That's what we've heard from Trump. That's what we've heard from pundits on TV. That is not true. That is not true. The IRGC, the most fanatical group in the country, the most far jihadi elements, if you want to call them that, the people that want to build the bomb more than anyone else, they quite frankly are in charge. Well, not quite frankly, they are in charge. Iran still retains a significant portion of its missile stockpile. That's how they're able to rain ballistic missiles down. They may retain significant drone capabilities, and they maintain their entire stockpile of highly enriched uranium. Those were key objectives. Get the uranium. The people are going to rise up. Get all the missiles. Get all the drones. Get the Navy. Get the Air Force. We got the Air Force for the most part. They might have 3 or 4 fighter jets. Their Air Force was never a threat. Their surface ship Navy fleet, the big conventional ones, they were never a threat. Now, their little fast attack boats are what they are using to shut down the Strait of Hormuz still, by firing on ships that don't pay the ransom toll in order to transit the Strait of Hormuz. So these people feel empowered. They feel like they're in control. They feel like they can get away with whatever they want. And that hit a boiling point when they shot down our helicopter. So now we are firing. But at the same time, I'm going to put this up on the screen for you. We have video footage already allegedly coming out. Let me get this up there for you. Of Iranian drones flying at U.S. targets in Iraq. So Iran is already reportedly firing back after we bomb them. So it's a mess. And I'm going to put a poll in. I'm going to do a poll right here. All right. Is the war going well? Poll yes or no. All right. But real quick, I do want to get to this first super chat from Bill Kennedy for $5. Thank you very much. Did Trump underestimate the IRGC? Can we ever trust any with IRGC? If the IRG stays in power, they win, right? Seems like the war is back on. This is how you got to look at it. In order for us to win, in order for the United States to win, we have to complete the objectives I just laid out. You got to get the highly enriched uranium. You got to get all the missiles. You got to get all the drones. You got to get all their little speedboats with the missiles. You got to get rid of the IRGC. I mean, we have several things we have to do in order to exit the situation and say that we won and completed our objectives. All the IRGC has to do is survive on their home turf. What's easier, surviving on your own turf or completing the list, the laundry list of things I just laid out? I think we all know the answer. So right now, 79% of you are voting that no, the war is not going well. And we still got ways to go. It's not over. But the fact of the matter is, the only reason our boys in that, our men in that helicopter got shot down is because a situation was created where the Iranians no longer feared us, where they no longer believed that the U.S. military was going to come in and just knock the snot out of them. And that right there is what you got to do. Once you start a war, you got to see it through. Because a wounded IRGC that's backed into a corner is significantly more dangerous for one simple reason. They are going to race to get a bomb. They are going to sprint to get a bomb. And if they have the highly enriched uranium, guess what? They're going to get the bomb. And Iran, for those of you who don't know, has the capabilities, knowledge, and capacity to build a bomb. They've always come right up to the line and then stop. And they use it as leverage. Well, right now, the people who are in control, they're the people who've always said, no. We can't stop. We got to go all the way. We got to build the bomb. So, quite frankly, okay, I'm seeing some people in the chat that a second wave of strikes is now underway. All right, a second wave of strikes is underway. More airstrikes are underway targeting air defense systems and radars. So a fresh wave of strikes is currently unfolding. All right, I'm looking for updates as they're coming in, but we are now hearing a second wave of strikes has been conducted against targets inside Iran. All right, we got a chat from Eagles fan Clark. What are the chances, in your opinion, that the IRGC has been attempting to build the nuke during the ceasefire? It's very, very, very possible. The only reason we would know about it, in the government might know about it. So, and I'm not saying anything here that's not public. I'm not giving away any state secrets. What I'm about to say is known. The location of the highly enriched uranium is at a place called Esfahan. Esfahan is this massive facility, and it goes deep into the mountains, deep underground. That's why bombing it simply is not enough. That's why the ground operation was considered, to try to go in with special operations commandos, essentially blast your way in, secure the uranium or destroy it in place, and then try to get the hell out. I don't know this for a fact. My theory is that the secret airfield that we built inside of Iran, that we used to rescue the F-15 Wizzo, the weapons officer, was actually built to do the raid on Esfahan. And then we had to use it to save that guy's life. Once you use it, you can't use it again, right? Because now the Iranians know it's there. So I don't even know. I made a video about this several days ago, I think late last week, if I remember correctly. I don't even know if the Delta Force raid inside Iran is even an option at this point anymore. I don't. It might not be. All right, we got 199 from Bill Kennedy. Need to get the Strait open, the B-2 bunker buster, the ports. I'm sure that they have plans to do exactly that. And you wouldn't even need to use B-2s. You could fire cruise missiles from standoff distances from a variety of different aircraft and submarines and Navy ships and hit those ports too. They got to do something. What do you, we got Keegan Blakemore. What do you think the chances are we invade Karg? So Karg Island, for those of you who don't know, is an island where 95% of Iran's oil exports move through to get out. And that island is essentially an the economic heart and soul of Iran. If that island is destroyed or seized, you would crater the entire Iranian economy because they wouldn't be able to move their oil out. Now, we just had a report from Ken Klippenstein that we moved the 82nd Airborne, or parts of the 82nd Airborne, into Israel back in April with the goal of taking Karg Island. So do I think we're going to do it at this point? I don't. I'm not going to rule it out, but I don't think we are. It seems like if we were going to do it, we would have done it already. But now more strikes are underway. I'm going to look at updates as they're coming in. So all we know is that there was a second round of strikes that are underway. I'm looking for updates as they're coming in. All right, the Iranians, I'm going to put this on the screen. We have reports coming out. Hold on one second. We have reports coming out that Iran is firing anti-aircraft fire. Anti-aircraft fire has been opened up in Iran against U.S. fighter jets that are there right now. So the shooting is underway. The shooting is underway, has started, has commenced. Give me one second. So this situation is very fluid. I was going to do this live tonight, even if this wasn't going on. But obviously right now, we've got a very serious situation unfolding. All right. For everyone who just got in here, please make sure to like the video. Make sure you're subscribed to the page so you can get active in the group chat with everybody in the live chat. Let's see what the poll is right now. 73% of you are voting that the war is not going well. I'm looking for updates as they come in. Also, bottom of the screen, some of you guys have been amazing. That's my social media. Instagram, David_Hookstead, XD Hookstead. We're all in this together. I'm behind the mic, but everyone watching this, you play an equal role in this. If you have information or there is something you want me to look into, or you have a tip, my DMs on Instagram and X, wide open. I'm very responsive in my DMs. So if you have anything you think I should know, please reach out. Also, give me a follow on both. I share a lot of great information on there, and I would appreciate it. We are trying to grow as much as we can. All right, we got more super chats. We got Lyle Peterson. Iran thinks we are like Jimmy Carter, no backbone. If he had supported the Shah, we would have had 50 years of peace. Reagan had them scared for a while. The biggest mistake Jimmy Carter made was not immediately bombing the hell out of the new regime in Tehran. And if he had done that, maybe you never even have the Iranian hostage crisis. Probably not. But we wouldn't have these radical, fanatical, insane terrorists in charge who have ruled with terrorist tactics for 47 years. And Jimmy Carter's legacy, you cannot say enough mean things about it. He was a terrible president. He allowed our diplomats to be taken hostage. He allowed America to be humiliated on the world stage. And if he had had the backbone and the stomach to do what needed to be done during the revolution, we wouldn't have the problems we have now. But that is actually a great example of when one domino falls decades and decades and decades ago, you might not know how bad things might get down the road. It's impossible to predict. Now, you could obviously have said, hey, maybe having a bunch of crazy terrorists in charge of a country, that's probably going to end poorly. That's obvious. Did anyone know it was going to end this poorly? That remains to be seen. I don't know. I have no idea what this means, and I'm definitely not saying that at all because I don't know what that means. And I'm not getting trapped into some insane situation. So, yes. Okay. We got Inglorious Bastard for $10. Thank you very much. Guys, every super chat you send goes right back into the show. This does cost money to do. It's not free. The software, the editing, I do it all myself. I do everything by myself in terms of filming, thumbnails, all of it. And every super chat you guys send, it goes right back to keeping the lights on. I'm hopefully going to try to do maybe a little bit of a set upgrade. But yeah, hold on. Give me a second. I will find you. They look a little something like this. I need to find where it is. Give me one quick little moment. They look like this. I'm going to put this on the screen for you. So essentially what you can do, my understanding, is these are little tiny boats, and they'll sail the drone boat to where you are. And then you got to go in, you got to crawl up the back, essentially, get down or get into the center console area if it's open, and then who's ever controlling the drone boat takes off. It's incredible American engineering is what it is. For everyone who likes talking about Chinese tech, Russian tech's a joke, or people who are like Israeli tech or German tech, there's no country on the planet that has the technology and the capabilities to produce high level, or as Hegseth, I think always says, exquisite technology like the United States of America. Our first stealth bombers came out in, I believe, 89. I believe the B-2 stealth bomber came out in 89. 1989. It's 2026. You know how many other countries in the world have stealth bombers? Zero. You know how many other countries in the world had developed stealth fighter jets that actually function at any level, not like ours? China has some. Turkey's trying to build one. Russia has the Su-57, which is the worst stealth fighter ever built. And everyone else relies on the F-35. So our technology is incredible. And this drone boat that you see here is what they think, I want to stress, they think is what was used to rescue the people in the crew of the Apache attack helicopter. That is what is believed to have been used. So yeah, you crawl in it, you get out of the water, and you keep your head down as who's ever steering it gets you to safety. All right, I'm going to pull this down. We got some more super chats coming in. Crown Prince, you're talking about the Crown Prince of, are you talking about Palavia, or are you talking about the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia? The Crown Prince, anyone would be better. Anyone would be better in Iran than what we have now. Anyone. Other than the IRGC, which is who we are currently dealing with, and which is who currently runs the country. We got a Summer Rain super sticker for $5. Thank you very much. All right, let me check the updates. Let's see if we have more updates coming in. Give me a second. I see some of you guys in the chat are I've seen some mentions of Carmelo Anthony being convicted today in Texas in the death. I got to be careful the words I say here on YouTube, so I can't say what he actually did. We all know what he actually did. Of Austin Metcalf. I'll just take a brief moment and address it because I see some people have talked about it. What that guy did, and he's facing, I believe, life up to 99 years for taking that young man's life, that innocent man's life, innocent kid's life. Austin Metcalf was 17 years old. Is one of the most disgusting, despicable, evil acts I have ever seen. And I'm not going to lose 1 second of sleep if that guy never steps out of a prison cell ever again for the rest of his life. You can't allow that level of evil to be roaming the streets. Absolutely despicable. All right, what do we got here? Okay, I see some people are saying that the first stealth was the F-117, but I'll look it up, but was the F-117 technically a bomber? Is that what it technically was? I don't know. If you guys know if the F-117 or the F-117, however you pronounce it, was technically a stealth bomber, or if it was a stealth attack aircraft, because the B-2 is a stealth bomber. The B-2 is a stealth bomber. Yeah, and I'm paying attention to what's going on in the UK and all of that. It's disgusting, the level of evil that is out in this world right now. It is disgusting. It's absolutely despicable. And that's why you can't let evil win. You got to look evil in the face and say, today is not your day. We're not letting you win. And we will do whatever we have to do to make sure you, evil, lose. Whether it's in Iran, whether it's criminals here in America, whether it's criminals in the UK, wherever it is, you can't let evil win. And you can't let your heart get hardened. Because if you let your heart get hardened and you get bitter and you just start to hate society, you're letting the bad guy win. You're letting the bad guy win. So crush evil, keep a positive attitude. That's how you win the day. Not today, devil, not today. That's right. All right, let me check for updates. See what we got as it's coming in. If there's been more strikes, we don't know the extent. Now, Iran so far, I'm going to put this on the screen. Iran so far has not launched, as far as I know, since we started this broadcast, has not launched any ballistic missiles since getting punched tonight by the U.S. military in response. a justified response to shooting down our Apache attack helicopter, saying IRGC owned Tasnim, Iran, but this is a threat they're making. Iran will respond to U.S. aggression as warned hours earlier. Iran will deliver a decisive response to the U.S. aggression, which is being carried out under the pretext of an Apache helicopter crash. So good luck to them. If they start unleashing missiles, I guarantee you, we will only continue to fire. We will only continue to fire. All right, we got another super chat. When they strike Israel, all bets are off. I don't know if that's true that all bets are going to be off, because if you believe what Trump has said, and again, it's Trump, believe him or don't believe him, but if you believe what Trump has said, he pulled back Israel from launching a larger attack than what they did after they were bombed with the ballistic missiles in response to the ongoing fighting in Lebanon against Hezbollah. So Iran said, if you go into Beirut, if you go into Lebanon, we are going to bomb you. Israel makes the decision, the calculation, we're going into Lebanon, intense fighting, airstrikes, combat on the ground, brutal, bloody, deadly, casualties all over the place. Iran then sends like a dozen or so, 13 maybe, ballistic missiles into Israel. Israel responds with airstrikes in Iran. Trump gets on the phone and says, hey, you can't go further than this. I'm trying to set this deal up. This is Trump's version of events, more or less. I'm paraphrasing. And so the Israelis back off. I don't know if Trump says no, here is the issue. I am going to, now some people aren't going to want to hear this, but again, I got to reposition my chair. Some people aren't going to want to hear this, but it is true. Israel is heavily reliant on the U.S. military for protection and for many of its offensive capabilities. What do I mean by that? The F-35, the biggest asset the Israelis have, is provided by America. The equipment upgrades it needs have to be routinely provided by America. Long-distance refueling capabilities, Israel has some, but not enough to conduct lengthy, long-term strikes. Those have to be provided by America. Their missile defense, while they have some sophisticated systems, they don't have the systems that we have, like the THAAD or our defense systems that we have on our Navy ships. If the United States pulled back, and I'm not giving an opinion on the country of Israel or the politics of Israel, any of that. The fact of the matter is, if the United States pulled all military support from Israel today, took back all our equipment, took back all our planes, took away the air defense, Israel would not have the capability to fight at the level it does. Plain and simple. That is a military reality. You might like that reality. You might dislike that reality. That is the fact of the matter. And it's not just Israel. We provide protection to many countries around the globe, in the Middle East. All of NATO, for the most part, is heavily reliant on the U.S. military. And that's a good position for us to be in, because it allows us to have immense influence over a large chunk of the globe. Because when you're the one who's got the shield over everybody, they're incentivized to listen to you. Because if they don't, we'll take the shield away. We'll take your weapons away. And then what are you going to do? So that's how I've always seen it. I will also tell you that, you always got to be careful when you talk about this, because people take it so personally. I have heard people talk about how the Israeli special operations is comparable to Delta Force. Their best guys are just as good as Delta Force or better. That is not true. That is fundamentally not true. Their best guys would be the equivalent of what is known as a white side SEAL team. And this is not my opinion. This is what has been told to me by guys who go over there to train them. Tier 1 operators who have worked with them. Your regular SEAL team is about at the same level of comparison to the tier 1 operators in Israel. There's no country on the planet that has tier 1 operators like we have at Delta Force, SEAL Team 6. The only exception to that rule, what I just said, is 22 SAS and the Special Boat Service in the UK. Those guys do exchange programs where they will deploy with Delta Force, with SEAL Team 6. The big difference there is not in who they are as a man or their skills on a ground level. It's the assets they can bring to the fight. We can bring everything. We got air power. We've got the most sophisticated intelligence apparatuses. People do not fully understand what the United States military is capable of. They do not, because we have not fought a World War II style war since World War II. You let the U.S. military off the chain, and there's not a country on the planet in a conventional war that's not going to get rolled. So I have all the respect in the world for the 22 SAS. I have all the respect in the world for the Grom out of Poland, the Australian SAS, the New Zealand SAS. They're all great. They're all great, but they ain't like tier 1 operators here. That's just a fact. All right, I'm looking for updates on the war. Keep your questions coming. All right, what do we got? All right, let's go to the poll real quick. So I'm going to end the poll. 67% of you are saying, 66% are saying the war is not going well. So there we go. We ended that poll. All right. What are you guys talking about in the chat over here? People are asking for video evidence of something. Yeah, and let's talk about this for a second. I have been told by people I trust that the death toll from the protest in Iran in late December and January, I've been told by my sources that it is, the real number is around 35,000. Now, is it 33, 36, 37? They don't know for sure. But based off of the information they have, the U.S. and our allies, the Iranian regime murdered 35,000 innocent people. Trump told them, stay in the streets, keep protesting. We are coming. Help is on the way. That's what Trump said. Well, if this is how this ends, the Iranian people are in a way worse situation than when this started. Because now the IRGC, there'll be no mercy. Remember when the war was going on, the IRGC said anyone in the street is getting shot. If you try to take to the streets, you're getting shot. So we have let them down. Now, you could make the argument Trump never should have said that. And Trump never should have told those people, get in the streets. Because it was a foolish thing if we weren't going to back it up. Which, so far, we have not liberated the people of Iran. Again, it's a fact. You might like it. You might not like that fact. But it is a fact. So, I feel terrible for those people. I feel absolutely terrible for the people of Iran. Because they were led to believe we were coming. Help was coming. And 35,000, roughly, are dead. And that's heartbreaking. That's absolutely heartbreaking. All right, we got some more chats coming in. How does Mossad compare to CIA? So Mossad, for those of you, I'm sure everyone watching this knows what Mossad is, but that is Israeli intelligence. They have something called Shin Bet, which is their version of the FBI. Mossad is their version of the CIA. Mossad is incredibly capable, incredibly well-funded. They've got their fingers in a lot of different jars. They're very good at what they do. Certainly regionally, they are very good at what they do. I mean, they're an outstanding intelligence organization. But again, the problem is CIA's budget, which is classified, is probably 100 times larger than Mossad's budget. And the tools that CIA has access to, which, use your imagination, we're never going to find out, are more well-funded. We have more money for R&D. A lot of this has to do with money and manpower. We're a country of 330 million people. We're the richest country in the world. Israel is a small country that has a lot of money, but doesn't have the same manpower capabilities, doesn't even have close to as much money as we do. So whoever has the most manpower and the most money is generally going to be better. But Mossad is very good at what it does, no question about it. We got George Toller for $10. I believe the 117, is it pronounced 117 or the 117? Was the first AC using air and hydraulics first sweep wing. I don't know if that's true or not, but it wouldn't surprise me. It was, for the time it was built, it was an incredible airplane. So it wouldn't surprise me if that were the case. But let me know in the chat how you actually properly say that. Because I honestly, I don't even know if I don't know. All right, what do we got? What do we got in the chat? We got a lot. The chat's very active, and we've got a lot of new viewers in. So again, guys, make sure you're liking the video. Make sure you're subscribing to the page. We want to keep growing this thing, take this thing to new heights, and we want this to continue to be a place where we can all come in together, learn stuff together, talk about the news, and make sure we are up to date. The beeper attack, some of you guys are talking about the beeper attack. That was Mossad. That was one of the most impressive Mossad operations we've ever seen. That was a good example of what Mossad is capable of doing. Is that something the CIA would do? No, we don't really do things in that. That's not our style. But that was an incredibly impressive operation. No question about that whatsoever. All right, what do we got? All right, going to pull updates, see if we've got anything new coming in. It looks like strikes are still underway. We don't have any footage of Iran getting hit yet, but I'm looking for all the information we have as it is rolling in at this time. So let me do a quick update check. So we've got some photos of the IRGC is now hiding in tunnels. This is from Shin minutes ago. These are, I think, they're IRGC trucks in Loristan province. They've been moved into tunnels to avoid airstrikes. So clearly, the IRGC is very nervous about whatever they think the U.S. is about to drop on their head. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to pull this down real quick. Keep your questions coming, guys. The F-117 Nighthawk was the first stealth airplane, yes, but not the first stealth bomber, because it is my understanding it was not a bomber. It was an attack aircraft, but stealthy nonetheless. And yes, one was eventually shot down. And then the wreckage, here's a fun fact for you all. We had a F-117 shot down when all that shit was popping off in Europe in the 90s. The wreckage of that craft is believed to have ended up, I want to make sure I have the dates of this correct. So let me make sure that I'm not giving you guys bad information. Hang with me here just for a second. All right. So it was, yeah. Okay. Yes. So this is right. So in March of 1999 over Yugoslavia, an F-117 Nighthawk was shot down. The wreckage of that was taken, it is believed, to the Chinese embassy. Okay? Stick with me here. The wreckage, or part of it, was taken to the Chinese embassy in Belgrade. Do you all want to know what happened to the Chinese embassy less than 2 months later? I think like 5 or 6 weeks later. The U.S. accidentally bombed it in the section of the embassy the wreckage of the stealth fighter was being held in. That is something that is, I don't know if it's common knowledge, but that's how much we protect our stealth technology. Again, this has never been confirmed by the U.S. government. It's never been confirmed by the Chinese. The belief among many people is that we hit the Chinese embassy in Belgrade to take out the wreckage of our own stealth fighter that got shot down so the Chinese couldn't reverse engineer it. Similar to when we had that F-35 go off the aircraft carrier in the South China Sea, and there was a mad rush to find it so that they couldn't they couldn't reverse engineer the F-35 and close a massive technology gap. So I personally believe that story's true. I believe that that's why the Chinese embassy got bombed. I've been told enough to believe that that's probably what happened. All right, the chat is popping off right now. I'm going to do a new poll. Give me a second. All right. Should Trump send in ground troops into Iran? A lot of jockeying very early in the poll so far. It's about 50-50. 52 say yes, 48 say no. Now it's 51-49. Okay. Some people are saying only on the coastline. So you guys get active in the comments about if you think ground troops, it's like a 50-50 split right now. Some people are saying just special operations. Some people are saying no ground troops. Some people are saying it's the only option we have left. Very, very interesting results. I thought it would be like 90% of people saying absolutely not. No. So, what are we at now? 50-50 still. Some people are saying send the Arab ground troops. This is fascinating. You guys, this is like a clean split down the middle. Interesting. Very, very interesting results there. All right, so I do want to talk about this. I want to talk about where I was when I left the country. So as many of you know, in late April, there was a build up to it. I had to get a haircut. Had to get, change my appearance a little bit. And couldn't really talk about where we were going, why we were going, what was happening. Didn't want to say anything that was, too much. So there's a couple things that happened. We went to a couple different places, and we don't need to get into all the details. I think that we moved to 4 different locations in 2 different countries, if I'm thinking about this correctly. So for those of you who don't know, and I'm sure many of you do, but first, let's do this. Where does everyone think I was? Let's see in the live chat, where do you think I was for those 2 weeks when I was filming in what looked like hotel rooms or closets or, clearly not in America, keeping my voice down low so people wouldn't hear me. A lot of people think I was in Israel. Some people think I was in Cuba. Some people think I was in Ukraine, Saudi Arabia. Some people think I was in Iran again. A lot of Israel, the UK, Mexico. Some of you have guessed correctly. Germany, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, the UK, a lot of Ukraine, Poland, Paris. All right, I'll read a couple more. Some people think I was in Tehran. Do you think, this is a serious question, if I showed up in Tehran right now, do you think the IRGC would kill me? If I got on a flight and somehow made it to the airport in Tehran, or what's left of it because it's been bombed nonstop, and got off the plane, and they look at my passport, and it says I am who I say I am, what do you think the IRGC would do to me? Yes. So a lot of people think that I'd be taken hostage or I would be killed. I actually agree with you. I think that after the things I've said about the IRGC and the things I've said about this war, I think that they would absolutely do it. Ransom. All right, so here's where I was. Are we all ready for the big reveal? The first place we went is I got on a flight. I boarded a flight in the U.S. That plane took me to Iceland. Really nice airport in Iceland, by the way. Very nice airport. And also Iceland Air, unbelievably nice airline. Just an incredible airline. We then went south and landed in Dublin. So the first place where we actually stayed a significant chunk of time was in Dublin. Now, there were some people there who kind of were on the ground before me, doing a handful of things. And the reason we were in Dublin, the reason we were in Ireland, is anyone going to guess? I'll give 1 minute for guesses for why people think we were in Ireland. What do we got? Why was I in Ireland? To drink beer. I did drink a couple beers. Guinness. Everyone thinks I was there for just the beer. Okay. All right, bingo. Someone finally got it. I was in Ireland because I was getting married. And that is the true story of why we had to go there. We wanted to keep it shrouded a little bit in secrecy. Couldn't really get into the details. Didn't want to give any international bad actors an idea because we are living in a dangerous time. And I didn't think it would be wise to broadcast where I was going, for what purpose I was going, because it takes one lunatic to do something crazy. From there, we boarded a flight and we were in France. I'm trying to think how long we were there. We did a bunch of things. The only things we're going to talk about here, though, is I did go see the beaches in Normandy. And that was incredible. Absolutely incredible. Oh no. Did I exit? Oh, wow. Apparently we blew our OPSEC in Ireland without even knowing it. That's crazy. Wow. I didn't realize that. I'm not going to repeat on air what was just said, but apparently there was a dead giveaway when I touched down in Ireland that people picked up on. Some people, at least one person. I'm going to have to research that. And again, not going to say it on air because let's not give the bad guys any hints. So, got married in Ireland, went to France, did some D-Day stuff. We did have to do some other stuff, which again, full details, not out, but that's why I was gone for partially a while. And I was gone for a while. I was gone for like 2 weeks. And Eventually, I was able to get back into America. I'll tell you, the security to get back into America, even with a U.S. passport, they weren't playing games. They were not playing games. So did I do a good enough job keeping the secret? Did you guys know? Or be honest with me. I'll do a poll. We'll do a poll. Hold on. So I just did a poll if I did a good job keeping the secret. Early indications are I did. And again, we can't get into everything that happened over there, but that was the main focal purpose. Like I said, we had people there ahead of us taking care of stuff. We had people that stayed behind us taking care of stuff. So yeah, a lot of people thought I was in the Middle East. There were diversions that were going on, I will tell you. There was a coordinated information campaign to confuse anyone who might be looking for me. I'm not kidding. I've had a lot of weird things happen in my life over the last 2 years. A lot. For those of you who remember, back in, what was it, March? I almost got killed. I almost got killed walking down the street in March by a car that to this day, police have not been able to explain what happened. I don't know if they honestly even know, but I was almost killed. And there's photos of it on my Instagram of what happened. And I get threats regularly. I try not to take them. Oh, okay, hold on. We've got more explosions. We got more explosions coming in. Hang tight. Hang tight. All right, Bandar Abbas is being hit. I'm going to put this on the screen. Multiple explosions heard within the last few minutes near Bandar Abbas. More strikes are underway. More strikes are underway in Bandar Abbas. Bandar Abbas, of course, is a critically... I just realized I don't think I have my phone on me. Hang on one second. Okay, so we got explosions underway in Bandar Abbas. A new wave of strikes are underway. I guess this would be the third wave of strikes are now underway. All right, we also have blasts now in Keshem. So there are also blasts in Keshem at this moment. All right. Give me a second. I'm going to check something. Hang on. Hang on. So we got explosions in multiple locations now. Bandar Abbas, Keshem Island. So it's ticking up, folks. It's ticking up for sure. All right, we got some more questions that came in. 84% of you have said that I did a good job of not letting people know where I was. I appreciate that. We got Bill Kennedy. If we send in troops, we need real regime change. Yeah, well, that's the risk, because it would require intense fighting in a country of 90 plus million people that is pretty much the size of Europe, or a large portion of Europe. It would be it would make a full-on ground war in Iran, would make Iraq look like a picnic. It's mountainous. The terrain is brutal. It would not be easy. We got Bullman, $5. Didn't even have a message. Thank you very much. Yep, right here. $5 from Eagles fan Clark. Ozent Defender reporting explosions in Bandar Abbas. Bandar Abbas is getting hit hard at this moment. All right, what do we got here? We got Mark Dolfo. Trump will get it done. And thanks, Dave, for all the hard work that you're putting in for all of us to keep up on this war. Well, thank you very much for the super chat of $10. I appreciate that. It's going to remain to be seen how this ends. As I said earlier in the show, we had a list of objectives. Many of those objectives have not yet been met. Does not mean that they won't be met at some point in the future, but they haven't been met right now. So there's still work to do to complete everything we set out saying we wanted to do. There's a lot of work that still needs to be done. How that happens, where that goes, what comes next, I don't know. And I appreciate you saying thanks for putting in all the hard work. I do this because I thoroughly love it, thoroughly enjoy it, making videos with you guys, seeing all your comments, reading your theories, reading your ideas. And if there's a topic you guys want me to try to cover more, whether it's UFOs, if there's a fun conspiracy theory, something from history, secret missions that the public doesn't know about that aren't classified and can be talked about on YouTube, let me know. And I'm happy to look into stuff to make sure you guys are getting the best experience possible. All right. Bandar Abbas Airport is where the airliner took off from that got shot down July 3rd, 1988, by the USS Vincennes. That was mirrored by Iranian F-14s. Yes, so that is a true story. We had a warship that shot down a passenger jet coming out of Iran. I'm not really sure I fully understand the explanations that were given. I think what Brian Newland is saying is that they essentially were using this airliner to mask some Iranian F-14s that were in the air, and the ship thought F-14s were coming and then fired. Brian, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on that. And then fired on the commercial passenger jet, and obviously a tragedy unfolded. All right, we got Sean. I'm the correctional officer that you have mentioned before. I watch during the day from time to time when I'm on break, so I know what's going on. Love the info. Well, thank you very much. Where I grew up, we had several prisons around us, so like half of my church was all prison guards. A lot of kids I went to school with, their parents were prison guards. I actually got to tour a prison once when I was in like 8th grade. They took like 8 of us just for the hell of it. They had like an open day kind of, which is crazy. It was a medium security prison. And they took us into the kitchens, and they took us into like the guard area and the armory. It was actually pretty neat. I believe that was a medium security prison. July 3rd, 1988, I was on the USS Elmer Montgomery. Thank you very much for your service. And then we got Steven saying, I was there on the ship when they shot the plane down. If you were, feel free to add in any more details that you know. And then Brian say, yeah, so what I'm saying is correct. My theory is correct. All right, let me check the updates. All right, missile sites inside Iran are being hit right now. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Missile sites. I'm trying to get this to load so I can get it on the screen. Missile sites, it says a blast was heard in Jam Bashir province. Jam has an infamous missile city as well. So they appear right now to be hitting missile infrastructure, radar, early warning systems. So multiple explosions are underway. 3 rounds of strikes, and the Iranians so far have not fired any ballistic missiles. So that, and I'm saying so far because things can change. So 3 rounds of strikes underway tonight against Iran. It's getting sporty out there, folks. It is getting sporty. It is certainly getting sporty, getting violent, as it appears we might be entering a new stage of the conflict. So I see people saying Bandar Abbas continues to get hit. We got Justin Schofield for $2.99 Australian. Love the Australians. One of my favorite people in Washington, D.C. is an Australian. Love your patriotic ways, mate. Australia. I love the Australians. Some of the best, most entertaining, hilarious people on the planet. Love the Australians. Thank you very much. So Bandar Abbas has been hit repeatedly is what we are seeing. But I'm looking to see if we have any footage. If we have any footage that has come out yet of the attacks. All right, ballistic missiles are in the air. Iran has fired back. Ballistic missile fire has been alerted. Hold on, that's the one I just put up. Let me get to this one. Ballistic missile launch from Shahin Shahir, Isfahan province. 2 missiles were spotted by witnesses. So it appears Iran has returned fire. And the shooting is now going in both directions. Okay. Hold on, hang tight. I'm going to check some information. Stay with me. Stay with me, folks. So we have ballistic missiles in the air. We will likely know where they are headed within minutes, probably no more than 10 to 12 minutes. So we do have confirmation now that 3 waves of strikes are underway. And ballistic missiles have been fired. Where those ballistic missiles are going, we do not know at this time. Stick with me. We are trying to see what is going on. Hang tight. All right, so the latest round of U.S. strikes is targeting air defense systems. So round 3 is going for Iran's air defense systems. And we now know ballistic missiles are in the air. Also, I want to show you guys something funny. I'm going to put this on the screen real quick just to lighten the mood just a little bit. I'm going to take a picture of it, actually. So there is a Twitter account that popped up either yesterday or the day before that is like a fan account of me, of the show. It's this right here. It's on X. It shares like my tweets and updates of things I'm saying, short snippets. It's at Best of Hookstead. I did DM the person who's running this. I don't know who it is, but I did reach out, and I'm just like, this is very random. But I was flattered by it. I think having a clips page is kind of funny. This person, I assume, is a guy. I don't know. I guess it could be a woman. Was even tweeting my thoughts on Carmelo Anthony being convicted. So if you want something good to follow, because I don't tweet my own clips. I don't put my videos on Twitter, but I got a good chuckle out of it. So maybe you guys will too. So it's Best of Hookstead on X. Feel free to go give that a follow. If you want a clips page, I think they say, you made it when you've got a fan out there. that is sharing your clips. It's just real funny to me. But in Jam. Yep, we covered the explosions in Jam. They're hitting the Missile City. It looks like. Do we have confirmation the missiles are on their way to Bahrain? All right, they're saying Sirik has been hit again. I'm going to put this on the screen. So Sirik in Iran has been hit again. So we shall see. I'm trying to see where these ballistic missiles are going. But it appears targets across the country have been hit. So this is the most action we've had in a significant period of time in the war. I'm trying to see if we've got any video footage that has come out, but so far we do not have any of the explosions. Speaking of which, I put this in a video earlier today. This is exclusive footage that was sent to me from Kuwait of a U.S. bunker that took a direct hit. So that is a U.S. bunker or safe haven, whatever you want to call it. And that is footage of it right there after taking a direct hit. I had a source send me that. We did cover it in an earlier video. Give me 1 second. What do we got here? All right, we got some super chats coming in. So Brian says, from my memory, the Vincennes helicopter was being shot at by the Iranian bog hammers. They called the Montgomery over to take care of the bog hammers. That airline would not answer ID comms. So that is Brian, his recollection of the shoot down of the commercial airliner back in the 80s. Probably something I should read a lot more about. We've got Holy Fook 1. Do you think rogue elements of the Iranian military government are going against Iranian regime to create this tit for tat? Who should we believe on negotiations that things are coming to a close? I don't think things are coming to a close at all. I understand why Trump has to publicly say that for many reasons. The market, the midterms. The Iranians, the most hardline people in Iran are in control. And they have shown no interest, none, in negotiating. Not even a little bit. So I don't know if we're all being played and maybe there is a deal that is close to being done. It doesn't appear to be that way to me. I don't think that I just don't think that the Iranians have shown any interest whatsoever in negotiating in good faith. Holy Fook 1. David, when are you going on Brent's Tier 1 podcast? I don't know if I am or if you'd even want me, but Brent's, if you guys aren't familiar with Brent Tucker, former Delta Force guy, I've interviewed him before in the past. That was probably like 3 years ago at this point. He's got a really popular podcast, the Tier 1 podcast, brings on former operators, really cool guys. I don't know if everyone who's on it is military. They tell really cool stories. He had one of the team leaders from the Bin Laden raid on, Alex West. He's had just a laundry list of incredible guests. And so if you're interested in that, check out the Tier 1 podcast. He also does Thursday Night Lives. He's a really cool dude, and I really like his podcast. So yeah, if you like that stuff, that is where you can find it. Probably no better spot for it. And give me 1 second here. So we got another one coming in. Something must have happened. Expect the worst. Possibly U.S. service members hurt. Worse, which was Trump's red line. Let's pray I'm wrong. Where are you seeing that U.S. forces are hit? Do we have confirmation of that? Where are we seeing that U.S. forces have been hit? Because if that's true, that's a big deal. But I have not seen anything to indicate that is the case at this time. But I will keep, obviously, a lookout to see what is going on. Yes, people are saying pray for our troops. Yes, we absolutely want to pray for our troops. Whether you support the foreign policy of the sitting president and government of the United States of America or not, and this is America, you are free to have any opinion you want. Give me a second. We should always support the troops. They have a job to do. They follow orders. They carry out orders. And they don't just deserve our respect. They need our respect and they need our support. Because there's a big difference between supporting the politicians. We can debate that all day long. But the troops, the ones who are putting their lives on the line, they deserve our respect. They deserve our prayers. And if you disagree with that, if you hate the troops, if you hate American soldiers and American sailors and American airmen and American Marines, Space Force, this is not the show for you. I'm willing to discuss politics. Bring it in, bring the best you got. But if you hate the troops, go watch somebody else, because that is not what we are. Okay, that's not what we're about here. People are saying, what is going on? Hold on. People are saying, look at Flight Tracker. What am I supposed? What specifically? What specifically should I be looking at on Flight Tracker? Let me know. China is sending. Are they? Hold on, I'm looking. Yes, okay. Multiple planes are flooding in right now from China into Iran. They're mostly Iranian airlines. And multiple refueling tankers are up in the air as well. We got half-ass Homestead. IRGC does not want peace. It's either win or death. 100%. They're fanatical. They're crazy. They have no interest in peace. They don't want peace at all. Brian talking about the shoot down again. The airliner took off from Bandar Abbas. 10 minutes later, 2 Iranian F-14s took off, and then they were locked in us at 12 miles. You're bringing a lot of great information. I'm going to definitely research this more. Smart to do a live tonight. This comes from Canman. $20. Wow. Thank you very much for the super chat. Big super chat. Like I said, guys, it all goes back into the show. David, this is the best channel on YouTube for war updates. My headphone is buzzing right now. And geopolitical news. Well, thank you very much for saying that. Thank you very much for the super chat. Like I said, I was going to do a live tonight either way. This all just happened. I got to get back to doing the regular Tuesday night lives. Right? Unfortunately, like I said, I was gone. You guys now know what most of the secret mission was. I didn't give away any tips early. Wanted to keep it private until some time had passed and we were back in the U.S. And so obviously couldn't do them when I was doing that. We've been working through a bunch of stuff and other things I'm up to, other things I'm working on. But now we're back, and hopefully the lives will continue. All right, we've got video. I don't know if these are ballistic missile launches or what, but hold on. I'm going to put it on the screen. Via Shin. Are these... What is that? Is that something that's been shot down? Possibly a drone? A failed rocket launch? What do you guys think that is? Let me know in the chat. That looks like it might be a drone that got shot down. All right, I got to take this one out. I don't know what is going on. I'm gonna put my other headphones on. Hang tight. We're switching to the other headphones. We're making it audible. I don't know. I was getting a lot of buzz in my ear. All right. Now the buzzing's gone. Do I look funny with my big headphones on? I've had these headphones since 2017. I love them. Generally speaking, headphones don't last 9 years, but here we are. So a lot of people are saying they think it is a drone that has been shot down. And guys, if you're just joining the video now, please make sure to like the video and make sure you are subscribed if you want to hang out in the chat. All right, massive explosion. We got a massive explosion underway. Khuzestan province, massive explosion has hit it. It looks like we are now at a point with rolling airstrikes. Rolling airstrikes. This is the most activity we've seen in the war for a significant period of time. We do not know where the ballistic missiles that were fired went. Let me see if I can get an update. All right, we got a lot of information coming in here. I'm trying. All right, we got a video that appears to be a fighter jet in the air. We got a video. It looks like a fighter jet in the air. You can see I think that's its engine right there. It's got to be, right? Are people saying I look funny? Now I look funny with the big headphones. Well, I'm sorry, my other headphones had like some weird crackling noise that was driving me absolutely insane. All right, so we've got multiple videos are starting to surface. We still do not know if the ballistic missiles were shot down or... Stay with me. Hold tight. So here's what we know. There have been 3 rounds. I'll pull this off the screen. And keep your questions coming, guys. There have been 3 rounds of strikes. The Iranians have launched ballistic missiles. We have some video that appears to show it could be a drone that was shot down. It also looks like drones went into Iraq, launched from Iran. So the two sides now do appear to be trading significant fire. Hang tight. All right, we have reported video footage. Stay with me. Stay with me. Hey, here's some breaking news for y'all. Carmelo Anthony sentenced to 35 years in prison. 30. He will do 35 years in prison. What is he, 18 now? So he'll get out when he's 53. That's just some breaking news for y'all. But we have footage. Hang tight. Hold. I got to get it up on the screen for you. This is footage allegedly out of Ketchum Island. There we go. Explosions underway. To the guy, here, I'm going to throw this up on the screen. Whoever this is, if you have access to Telegram channels with video footage out of Iran, bottom of the screen, Instagram, David_Hookstead, X, D Hookstead. My DMs are wide open. Reach out. We want people to see what's going on. Send me what you got. This is footage allegedly of Ketchum Island. So footage is slowly but surely starting to come out. But yes, I just saw that pop up. Carmelo Anthony, 35 years. All right, I'm going to pull this off the screen. Guys, I can't stress this enough. If you have information that you think the public needs to know about or that I should at least look into, Instagram. You see it right here. You see X right there, David_Hookstead, XD Hookstead. Get into my DMs. Send me messages. I am very responsive. I have my phone with me at all times. Might even have a secret bat phone. I actually do have two phones, but the one phone hasn't been turned on. I don't even know if I have that one anymore. I don't think it's been turned on in like 4 years. And I only need one phone. I need to carry two. All right. We got another one from Darren Dieter, $10. No message. Thank you very much for this super chat. Inglorious Bastard. I'd like to piggyback on the other loyal subs that I wake up, update through the day, and end my night with you. Thank you for the content. I hope these updates are the start of the end of this. I agree with you that I hope that this is a sign. This is finally coming to an end, as it should have come to an end a long, long time ago, back in April. And thank you very much for the kind words. Could you guys let me know in the live chat are you getting notifications when I'm posting videos? Let me know in the live chat, because are you getting notifications? Are you still seeing me on the front page of YouTube? Are you still seeing me as regularly? What do you think about the thumbnail setups? Guys, no amount of feedback is too much feedback, but definitely let me know if you're seeing me as much as we used to. Bill Kennedy, $2. IRGC takes a licking and keeps on ticking. Timex motto. Yeah, I mean, they're willing to withstand a significant amount of pain. Brian back with more information about the shoot down after July 3rd, 1988. We were briefed pulling into Mayport, Florida, that we could not talk about the July 3rd, 1988 incident. I can't find anyone to talk to. Well, it was in 1988. It was a long time ago. I think you're fine at this point. Thank you very much for the super chat. Patriot Free, U.S. Air Force vet. Thank you very much for your service. Things can get really sticky weird. If we go in, I hope protection for our young men and women. We're all praying for the troops. We were talking about that earlier. Whether you support the politicians or not, whether you support the war or not, the men and women tasked with fighting that war and executing the orders that are passed down, they are to be apolitical. They are there to do a job. And they absolutely deserve our support. So that is my view, and I think that's the view of pretty much everyone watching this at this moment. Interesting. I'm reading what you guys are saying in the chat. Wait, is there someone is saying the IRGC is in the chat? Who is there someone in the chat causing problems? So some of you are saying you get all the notifications, some only get some. Some are saying no notifications despite the bell being on. So this is good feedback, guys. This is what helps me give you guys the best show possible, give you guys the best opportunity possible to make sure the information gets out there and you guys have the best information that you can get. People are saying they had to look up my name. Well, see, this is why you all got to be subscribed. Got to be subscribed. All right, I'm going to check to see if anyone's reached out on Instagram or Twitter yet with potential information. Hold on one second. We got one. Hang with me. Hang with me, everyone. So yeah, and guys, if there's stories you want to see covered, if there's cool stuff, what did you guys think about the video I did about the secret aircraft that was filmed by Area 51? People think it's the F-47. Stuff like that. Is that stuff you would be interested in seeing more of? Just let me know. Like I love all this stuff. So people are saying here, we got $2 from Brian. Brian's been active tonight. You are over the target if Iran is in the chat. All right, I'm looking in. Let me check for updates right now. We're hearing more. Okay, hold on, everyone. Hang tight. There might be more ballistic missiles in the air. Hang tight. I'm trying to figure this out. All right, they are saying a drone has been shot down. A drone has been shot down potentially. We do not know whose drone it is. More ballistic missiles. Third ballistic missile launch. Third ballistic missile launch. So now multiple reports of ballistic missiles in the air. So this is really starting to heat up. This is really starting to heat up. Bill Kennedy again saying B-2 fast boats, underground ports, open the strait. How soon will the B-21? Eagles fan Clark. How soon? Let me check the B-21. I think it's supposed to be by the end of this year, isn't it? Yeah, this year. The B-21 is supposed to be going into service this year. We got $1 underdog for USA. Thank you very much. All right, I got to close some of these tabs. I got a ton of tabs open. So we are seeing more and more strikes. Hang tight. Should we get Dusty the dog to do his appearance? We got $10. Darren Ryder. Keep up the great work, David. Thank you very much for the super chat. And I will. People are calling for someone in the comments calling for the B-61 to be unleashed. That's a small nuke for those of you who don't know, I believe. Here, let's do a quick poll. You guys haven't seen Dusty in a while. It's been a minute. If you want to see him, I'll go get him. All right, hang tight. We're getting more information in. Give me a second. I'm working through it. I'm working the problem. I'm working the problem. It is interesting because we're not. All right, there's reports that a vase in Iran has now also been hit. A vase in Iran has now also reportedly been hit. So multiple rounds of strikes are underway as we continue the operation. All right. If you all want to see Dusty, I'll go get Dusty real quick. He can make his weekly appearance. Remember, I made shirts of him. The Dusty the Dog shirt. I'll show that to y'all, but hang tight. Let me go get him. Assuming he's not passed out asleep, at which point I'm not waking him up. But hang tight, then we'll be back to updates. Or actually, it's probably easier to go this way. The set's pretty tight. Oh, he's here. He's here. He looks very confused. Here he is. Here's Dusty the dog. Dusty, do you want to say hi to everyone? Dusty, what do you think about 3 waves of strikes against Iran? Do you want a treat? Do you want a treat? Oh, he wants a treat. Now he's running. Can you hear him running to the treat bowl? Now my wife's going to be forced to give him a treat. But that's Dusty the dog. That's Dusty the dog. I'll see if I can find the shirts that I made. Patriot Free, David, good job. Thank you. Let's see, Dusty. You just did. God bless our troops and you. So I actually have a photo. Let me see if I can find it. I think I know where it is. From the last time when I did the Dusty the dog. Hold on. Where is it? I know I have it somewhere. Oh yeah, here it is. This is such a good photo. So, I'm going to put this on the screen. So this was me on a live stream back in April, maybe. There it is. Those were the Dusty the Dog shirts. Let me know if you would get a Dusty the Dog shirt. Yeah, that had to be in April because I have short hair in that, which means it came post haircut. The little devil accidentally scratched me on my wrist when I was going to grab him. All right, do we have more explosions underway? Do we have more explosions underway? All right, I'm looking to see if we have a new round. Where are you guys seeing there's more explosions? All right, more explosions are underway. Keshem Island has been hit again. Keshem Island has been hit again. It appears that would mark the 4th wave of strikes. The 4th wave of strikes. Nicked up my wrist. with his claw, with his nail by accident. Oh, well. All right, we've got some super chats. Bill, back again for $2. Long live. You might be up all night. We'll see. Joseph Kinzel, $5. Love your enthusiasm and channel. Big Trump supporter, but a bit frustrated at his appeasement of Iran lately. I think a lot of people feel the same way. They don't understand why this is taking so long. They don't understand why this isn't over. So yeah, I don't blame you. I think a lot of people feel the exact same way. VP Digger, $5. You're doing a great job, sir. By the way, is that a rat that you call a dog? Laughing my ass off. Just kidding. He is small. In fact, in total honesty with you all, I'm pretty sure I've called him a rat with legs before myself. Joking, of course. Would never mean that seriously. This dog will sleep outside when it's hot in the summer in his little bed. He will lay in the sun and not move for an hour, 2 hours. He loves it. But he only weighs 12 pounds. He's also 14 years old. He's 14 years old and is still jumping off of the couch, jumping off the bed. 73 DCP, $5. If the IRG fires anything, it will give away their positions. Right. Yes, that is true. But what they do is it's essentially a shoot and scoot strategy that they have. So what does that mean? We've got drones up in the air. We got fighter jets up in the air constantly hunting. They're hunting. They are hunting for whatever they can find. They want to get the kills. So what Iran does is they pop these little missile launchers out of their cave system, their missile cities, fire them, and then try to move them as fast as they can so that the drones and the jets, by the time they figure out where the launch came from, which can happen fast, can happen very, very, very fast, the launcher's gone and it's back in the mountains, back in the missile city. So it does give away their position, but that's why. And then they have a different opening in the mountain they can come out of. So that's the terrain provides Iran some significant advantages. They can hide in the mountains, and that's exactly what they do. So they use what's called a shoot and scoot method, which makes getting all the launchers, getting all the missiles difficult. But yes, firing does give away your position. All right, Rodney Goyen, I believe, or Gun, is that how you pronounce it? For $2. No message, though. Thank you very much. All right. Someone wrote, I will never forget. I'll never forget your live broadcast when Trump called off the Iran strikes. What a disappointment that was. Yeah, I think everyone, myself included, was like, what the hell is going on right now? All right, I'm looking for information here. Looking for info. Hang tight. Okay, hold up. Hold up. We've got reports. Put this on the screen. They have fired on Bahrain. Iran is fired on Bahrain. Targeting. Says Iran says it carried out a drone attack on the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet in Bahrain. Adds clashes are ongoing, and if they continue, heavier responses are on the way. So Iran firing on Bahrain at this hour. This is absolute insanity. This is absolute absolute anarchy. All right, we got some more super chats. We got Inglorious Bastards. My wife and I are having a friendly debate. She says those books behind you are props and or it's a fake background. Can you please confirm so we can get along with our night? It ain't fake. I got to be careful about showing that because I think if I get it too close to the camera, YouTube might not love it. Here. See, I can move stuff off the set anytime I want. The books. I'm trying to think of a good one because I'm trying to think of a good one. I don't want anything to fall. Obviously that's my Red Dawn. I got a football right here. See, I can pick that up. 100% real. And in fact, I got to check. Yeah, the books are real. I didn't know if when I grabbed this one from Jack Carr, if he signed it or not. Jack sends me a lot of great stuff. Big fan of Jack Carr. Great guy. Here, let's see. And that is signed by Jack Carr. So, yeah, no, it's all 100% real. In fact, speaking of Jack Carr, sent me this little nifty knife the other day. Pretty cool. All right, so yeah, it's 100% real. It's all 100% real. David, I need giant schnauzers. Let me get you a real dog, bud. We love Dusty. Dusty's the perfect dog for us with his size. He's a good dog for sure. Bernard, thanks for the great coverage. Keep it up for $2. Thank you very much. Brian, I love how often you're talking about this. So Brian keeps talking about the plane shoot down for $20, but thank you very much for the super chat. We had just got underway in March 1988. I was a cook. Our supply officer came to the galley. Tomorrow is MLK third birthday, or MLK, is that supposed to be junior birthday? What should the cake say? I looked around and said, we have not yet begun to fight. Wrong answer. Okay, very interesting. Amy Diaz-Hollis for $5. Thank you for the live coverage. Can you also please say hello to my guy, Dennis? Thanks. Dennis, I hope you're watching. Thank you very much, Amy. I'm sure she's a great woman. You're very lucky to have her. Thank you very much, Amy, for watching the show. I hope Dennis is watching too. We got $10 for Forgiven One. Didn't even have a message. Thank you very much. And then we got $5 from Darren for a super sticker. Thank you very much. All right, I'm just trying to see. Is everything good? Can you guys still hear me good? Is the video good? Let me know if the video's good. I see someone asks if I played college football for the Wisconsin Badgers. I did not. Went to school there. I'm flattered that you look at me and you think that I could be a Division I athlete, but I have not. All right, we're going to go look at updates. We're going to go look at updates to see if there are updates. There might not be that we know about. Like I said, they bombed the Fifth Fleet in Bahrain is what they're claiming. All right, so the Iranians are now saying multiple U.S. sites have been targeted. All right, multiple. So the IRGC releasing a statement saying in response to the aggression by the terrorist U.S. military in southern region of the country under the false pretext of a helicopter crash, several U.S. bases in the region were subjected to a powerful assault by the heroic army of the Islamic Republic and the brave men of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. The criminal U.S. military should be aware that any repeated aggression against the Islamic Republic of Iran will result in severe and widespread attacks against identified target banks in the region. So the Iranians are now saying that they have fired at multiple U.S. bases in the region. But I want to make clear, we do not have proof of that at this time. We know that some shooting has occurred. We know that multiple ballistic missiles have been fired. We do not know, and I want to stress this completely, we do not know what has been hit. We do not know if anything has been hit at this hour. All we know is that we had the ballistic missile launches, and I'm looking for updates right now. So stick with me here. We have a situation that is rapidly developing and rapidly unfolding. Stick with me as this situation continues. So the Iranians have said they have now tried to attempt multiple U.S. bases. Hang tight. All right, hang on. So I have gotten a tip in my inbox on Instagram that it's possible Karg Island has also been hit, as well as Abu Musa Island and Shabahar. But due to that, I don't want to show that on the screen because I want to protect the identity of where that information came from. I cannot independently confirm that at this time. So we now know that the Iranians are saying they are targeting multiple sites, multiple locations. We do not know if they have had success in doing so or not. So let me check my phone. Guys, we've got information flooding in, some coming through a secure channel on my phone at this moment. I'm trying to take what we've got here. Hang tight. Stay with me. Stay with me. All right. Doesn't this feel like we're kind of in the Situation Room? Like we are doing this live updates. Hold on. I'm going to see if we've got, there could be another wave. All right. CENTCOM releasing more information. I'm going to put this up on the screen for you. So this released moments ago. Yes. 4 minutes ago. 4 minutes. U.S. completes strikes in response to Iran's attack on Apache. So now we are saying we are done shooting. The U.S. is saying it has concluded its attacks. The question now is obviously, will Iran stop shooting? Because if Iran continues to shoot, we're going to have to shoot back, or at least we should shoot back. We can't let these crazy people get away with it. You got to shoot back. It says, U.S. Central Command forces completed self-defense strikes around Iran June 9th at the commander-in-chief's direction in response to yesterday's downing of a U.S. Army Apache helicopter. CENTCOM forces struck Iranian air defense, ground control stations, surveillance radar sites near the Strait of Hormuz with precision munitions from U.S. Air Force and Navy fighter jets. The operation was a proportional response to recent attacks on U.S. forces and international commercial ships transiting regional waters. U.S. forces remain vigilant and postured to defend against unjustified Iranian aggression. So, all right, they are now also saying the Iranians are saying they have taken down an MQ-9. All right, stick with me. We might have an MQ-9 down. The IRGC claims that air defense is downed an MQ-9 Reaper over Jam in the Bashir province of southern Iran amid the ongoing exchange of strikes between Iran and the United States. So remember, I said I think this looks like a drone that has been shot down. It now appears that that is indeed the case. So it appears that a U.S. drone has been downed. This is, okay, it's a fluid situation, guys. I'm trying to get you guys the information the best I can. In the meantime, between updates, we're going to get into some super chats here. We got $5 from NP Justaman. You know what we're going to have to do, because we have so many people in here, and I want to make sure no one... We're just going to have to... We're going to put a... We're going to go $5 and up on the super chats. Just to make sure that we got... If you already got it in, no worries, because this one was already in. 1981 Russo. How do war powers work? Were we baiting them? They shot down a helicopter of ours. The president has wide authority to defend U.S. forces that are threatened. So Iran shooting down a helicopter would give Trump the immediate authority to just absolutely start annihilating targets. Now, most presidents aren't going to do that over one helicopter. They're going to pick targets and hit them. But if U.S. forces are attacked and the president is then responding to that attack, the president has unlimited authorities. The War Powers Act is more about if you start a war, start hostilities. I think you have 60 days. You can do it without Congress needing to be involved or voting on it or attempting to vote on it. So once our guys are attacked, the president's got free reign. They shot our helicopter down. They could have killed 2 of our guys. They shot our helicopter down, and it wasn't even over Iranian airspace. All right, we got Sumerain 40, super sticker, $10. Thank you very much. We got Patriot Free. So in Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Iraqi Freedom, A-10s, 2003, they could see everything on the ground, not giving away info, sorry. Why is it so hard with our guys now to bomb the launchers and locations, drones? I don't know. I think it's because they're using the mountain. They're using their tunnel systems in the mountain. Once they fire, we know exactly where it is. The question is, can we get to it before that launcher pulls back into the mountain tunnel system? And a lot of times we get it. Sometimes we don't get it. So it's my understanding, the way it was explained to me, it is due to the tunnel system. I hope the stealth show up. Oh, I'm sure they got F-35s and F-22s working overtime. We got LLC. Remember, we're $5 and up now, but this one came in early, so I'm obviously going to honor it. No message attached. Cabron 4540 super sticker for $10. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Wow. Huge super chat. Chris No, $50. Didn't even attach a message. Thank you very much, Chris. That is incredibly generous of you. Thank you very much for watching the show as well. So someone's saying it's whack-a-mole, essentially. Yeah. That is. I mean, essentially what we are doing is whack-a-mole. All right, I'm going to see if we've got any updates. Looks like we don't have any updates yet. Hang tight. Everyone hang tight. Stay with me. Hold. I'm just making sure I'm not missing any updates that could be coming in. Lots of things happening at this moment. Unclear the severity of the damage. What was damaged. But we know Keshem Island was hit hard. We know Bandar Abbas was hit hard. Keep your questions coming. Should I show you all a photo from the wedding? What do we think? Let me make sure. Let me make sure the wife is okay with that. We are trying to protect operational security here. Hold with me. We're going to see what updates we got coming in. We just crossed the 2-hour mark as we monitor the situation together. But so far, I have not seen any new strikes that we haven't already covered. Hang tight. All right, stay with me. We are monitoring. We are looking. I'm checking out everything we got, making sure we don't miss a single thing. What are we talking about in the chat? I want to make sure I'm not missing anything there. Someone said I sound sick. I don't sound sick. Come on now. Now, I got a little bit of a dry throat because I've been talking for 2 hours on camera. All right, what do we got? What do we got? All right, I think I'll show you guys a wedding photo. Do we want to see a wedding photo? Let's see what we got. Stay with me. Hang tight. I'm looking at the updates as they're coming in. Hang tight. Sorry, I know I'm repeating myself. All right, let me look to make sure we're not missing any updates. All right, we've got a wedding photo we are going to show now at this time. Get ready. Buckle up. It's about to get chaotic. I personally like this one a lot. But that is my wife, who's a White House reporter, right there on the day of the wedding. That I personally like that photo a lot. Hold on, I'm trying to see. We got a couple other ones. I don't want to show any guest faces. So what do you think? People think that I faked the wedding? Are there people who think I faked the wedding? The wedding is not real. But, well, guys, people are now acting like I'm putting my wife in danger. My wife is a White House reporter. She's on TV almost every day. The world knows what her face looks like. That's why I chose a photo that had nobody else in it. So that people who don't have public profiles or work in clandestine wings of the government or do things where their identity cannot be exposed to the public aren't shown. That's why this is the photo we went with. I can't believe some of you honestly think I faked the wedding, that this isn't a real thing that happened. You guys are certainly entertaining. All right. Do you want to see one with me in it? All right. This will be the last wedding photo. And I actually appear in this one now. Hang tight. I'm in this one. So there you go. There's the two of us. Does anyone think we still faked the wedding? Nice background, nice trees. What do we think? Good photo? We like that photo? Is this an AI wedding? She's too good for you. Now she's going to read these comments and enjoy them a lot. What do we got? What do we got? So thumbs up or thumbs down on this one. What do we think? I think it's a good photo. I have no idea what we're talking about when this photo was taken. But it's a good photo. All right, we'll stop the wedding stuff. I can't believe some of you think I faked the wedding. Did I fake the wedding ring as well? All right, we got some more super chats. Let's get into them. Chris No back with another $20. Thank you very much, Chris. Yes, sir, and congrats to both of you. Thank you very much for the congratulations. That means a lot. Thank you very much for the super chat. She's great. She's great. We love her, but we love the dog more. We love Dusty the dog the most. Brian's back. Thank you for letting to tell things people might not know. I appreciate it very much. Brian, I appreciate you being a part of this very much as well. We're all in this together. Okay, hold on. We got to interrupt super chats. Multiple missiles in the air. Multiple missiles in the air. They are airborne. Hang tight. Multiple missiles are up. Here we go. Ballistic missiles are up. Ballistic missiles are in the air. I'll rewind to the start of the video where you can see them. Those are the missiles right there. So we now have missiles missiles going from Iran. Okay. I'll tell you what, I'm going to take a quick 30-second break. And then we are going to continue. Give me 30 seconds. Like I said, it's really tight. It's hard to get out of here. All right, we are back. So we had ballistic missiles just launched. Ballistic missiles just launched. We do not know where they are going, what the target is, but we just had ballistic missiles launch. It has also been brought to my attention that someone said my wife is from Alabama. She is not from Alabama, but we love the good people of Alabama. She is from New York, and she was a pro tennis player for a long, long time. I'm married to a pro athlete. Not that big of a deal. And now she's a White House reporter. So we love the good people of Alabama. People of Alabama are awesome. A major figure at the wedding, actually. Well, I'll stop myself there. But we love the people of Alabama. She's not from Alabama. She's from New York. All right. You should take a poll on what to cover after the Iran and Ukraine war. I appreciate the daily updates on the minute details we don't get on the news. Yeah, guys, let me know. Let me know. If you guys, you want to cover new Chinese tech, new Chinese military tech, new North Korean missiles, UFOs, wherever there's conflict, Cuba, whatever it might be, Delta Force, SEAL Team 6, let me know. And I'm down to cover whatever. I enjoy learning this. We're learning this together. This is not me doing this by myself. This is us doing it together. So whatever you guys want to hear, I want to hear as well. So wait, hold on. Now, do we have more missile fires? Let me look. Hold on. Yes. Okay, we've got more missiles in the air. We have reports of more missiles in the air. Let me get this back on the screen for you. 4:30 local time, Wednesday morning, the Islamic Republic has launched several ballistic missiles from various parts of Iran towards unspecified targets. We do not know where they are going, but the missiles are inbound. This situation continues to heat up. So more missiles are in the air. We've got VP Digger. Congrats to both of you. Thank you very much. It's a very exciting time. Let me make sure I got something turned on here because I don't want it to be. Yes, I do. Guys, we got a lot of people who've come in throughout the video. If you came in throughout the video, please make sure to like the video and make sure you are subscribed to the page as well. Yes, sir. Chris, back with another $20. Thank you very much, Chris. Yes, sir. You all really look amazing. I assume that, I hope that obviously was in reference to me and my wife. Gary says you scored big with this one. Congratulations. I certainly did. She's great. Like I said, we love her, but we might love the dog a little bit more. Trippy 0101. The MQ-9 Reaper cost approximately $30 million to $34 million per unit and is 25 years old. Yeah, it ain't cheap, but it's cheaper than a fighter jet. We know that. And we got a new member. For those of you who don't know, we do have a membership. Helps keep the lights on, helps keeps the channel going. So if that is something that's interesting to you, I did keep the prices extremely low because we're all working class people here. We all have jobs. We all got people to take care of. I would never, ever, ever jack up the price of anything because I'm not a piece of garbage like some people, like many people in public-facing media life are. All right. People are saying I've got a mole now. What do we got in the comments here? I'm looking for updates. All right, hang tight. Hang tight. Everyone hold while we wait to see. There might be more missiles in the air. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, hold on. We might have another missile launch. I've received some information. Need to verify it. Want to make sure I can't at this time say what it is. So we're going to hold with that until I can get confirmation. We got another new member, Ward Anderson. Welcome to the membership. Thank you very much. All right, we're hearing Erbil might be under attack. Stay with me, guys. These are the moments. These are the moments where the situation at any moment in time could change. Again, doesn't it kind of feel like we're in the Situation Room at the White House? It's like the Bin Laden raid, which is my all-time favorite subject. I have a lot of special operations subjects that I love talking about, but none of them beat the Bin Laden raid. I got a little piece of hair showing. You know what? Maybe we'll have a lengthy video on the Bin Laden raid someday. I don't know. Would y'all enjoy that? Let me know. Would you guys like an in-depth breakdown of what happened on the Bin Laden raid? Let me know in the comments below. All right, what do we got? We have not heard at this time if the U.S. has launched another wave of strikes, but hang with me here. Hang with me. I'm going through the information as it is coming in. As it is coming in. Well, hey, you know what? If you guys don't want to talk about the Bin Laden raid, even though I'm sure that many of you would, if you guys want to know something that's cool, I'm going to do you guys all a big treat, okay? And I'm going to tell you something that I guarantee you 99.99% of it, or 99.99% of people watching this have never heard of before. 100% true story. I'm not going to get into all the details of it here, but what I am going to do is I'm going to tell you to go on Google, okay? And I made a video about this probably 2 years ago. I think 2 years ago. If you want to hear one of the craziest Black Ops stories that the general public has no idea ever even happened, and it is, I would say, in my opinion, this is my opinion, I wasn't there, I wasn't on the Bin Laden raid, I was never in the military, make that very clear. In my opinion, what I'm about to tell you is more interesting than the Bin Laden raid. I'm going to put it in the chat for you all. Or actually, I can just put it on the screen so you guys can go look it up. If you guys want to read about the craziest special operations raid that is 100% true, that the public has no idea happened, go on Google and search the Abu Kamal raid. It was a cross-border operation into Syria in 2008. And you might be shocked by what you learn and what the Syrian government knew, who the target was, how it unfolded. This should be a movie or a book minimum. And I'm telling you, you think the Bin Laden raid's cool? And it is. It's as cool as it gets. Look up the Abu Kamal raid. You guys will be shocked by what you learn. And yes, for those of you asking, it was Delta Force that did that one. All right, let's see if we have any updates. Let's see if we have any footage coming in. Hang with me here. All right, it appears we have more. We have another ballistic missile in the air. It appears we have another ballistic missile in the air. Here we go. Right there, you can see it going up. They've fired again. It appears the Iranians have fired again. So Iran is continuing to fire right there. I'll pause it. Look at the bottom of the screen, that little bright light. That is, by all accounts, an Iranian ballistic missile. So they are firing back. They are firing back. Now, okay, sorry, Chris, I missed you. $20 from Chris again. Thank you very much, Chris. I should have put that up before I showed that. Any updated footage? That video that you just saw is the latest missile strike we have coming out of the exchange of fire. So the firing continues, the shooting continues. All hell is breaking loose. I see a lot of Benghazi comments. Interesting. That's all I'll say about that. Okay, I'm looking for updates. Hang tight. Stay with me. Okay, I'm hearing people are asking if I was in the military. Guys, I've been crystal clear forever. I was never in the military. I have never worked for the U.S. government in any capacity. I was never in the CIA. I was never in the FBI. Never worked for the NSA. Didn't work for the local police department. I have never worked for the U.S. government in any capacity, ever, in my whole life. That is the fact of the matter. 100% true, and I've always been open about that. I've always been 100% open about that. I can't stand liars. I can't stand people that grossly misrepresent what they did. So no. All right, we have a map of attacks. All right, hold on. Hang tight with me here. Hang tight. Hold with me. We have a map of the strikes. I'm going to put it on the screen. All right, so what you're looking at here, these are strike locations. We have Jam, Bandar Abbas, Keshem, Sirak, Jask. This map does not show strikes on Karg. Karg is not highlighted anywhere on this map, although I think it would be further north. Let me check. Further north of Jam, so it might just not fit. This is... Yeah, so Karg is too far away to be included in this map, I believe. This is the reported strike locations that have unfolded. So as you can see, okay, hold on, hang tight. Everyone hold. Bahrain, we are hearing blast in Bahrain. That could be where the ballistic missiles were going. So we are now reportedly hearing blast in Bahrain. So are they going to, like people are noting, the sun is up. So are we now going to fight? Are we going to fight in the morning light? Guys, we're getting more viewers in. As always, please make sure you're liking the video, you're subscribed, and turn your notifications on to make sure we don't get censored. Yes, Bahrain appears to be coming under fire. Okay. So this... Guys, I don't know what to tell you. Pray for our troops. Pray for everyone in harm's way. Bahrain is being targeted. All right, I'm looking at updates. Stay tight with me here. Stay tight with me. All right, we got another one, $5, VP Digger. Do you upload your live streams? I'm not sure because I've been a subscriber for only a couple months. I have to leave for a bit. Don't want to miss anything. Yes, they will automatically, transfer. You go to the page, go to live. Let me look to make sure I got that right. You're going to go to live. Yeah. So when you go to my page, you'll see video, home, video, shorts, live. Live is where what you're looking for. So it'll have everything right there. To answer your question. All right. I'm trying to look to see what updates we got. I see some people are saying planes are down. Where are you seeing planes are down? Where are we seeing planes down? All right, Bahrain has confirmed. This is an official statement from the government of Bahrain. The alarm siren has been activated. We urge citizens and residents to remain calm, head to the nearest safe location, and follow updates through official channels. So they are hitting Bahrain. So Bahrain has come under attack at this hour. This is very serious, guys. This is incredibly serious. Oh, man. Hopefully everything has been intercepted. We do not know that at this time, but obviously that is what we are cheering for. All right, we've got Kumquat Singleton. I really hope what I said was not, I hope that's not like a secret code for something, and now the FBI is going to be kicking in my front door. $10, thank you very much. Trump's inaction is embarrassing our country and making us look like eyes who won't defend ourselves, our interest, our commander-in-chief who aged out last term. I think I understand the general thing of what you're saying there. I don't know if I understand how it was worded maybe. I've been critical of Trump in a lot of videos. I think that if you're going to make a threat, you got to follow through on that threat. Trump has made a lot of threats and not followed through. And, I've had a lot of subscribers and viewers who are angry when I'm like, hey, we need to win. We need to get this over with. We need to win. Some people don't like that. But I tell you guys, I'm going to tell you the truth no matter what it is. And the truth is this has not been managed as well as it should have been. And that's just as simple as it is. So I understand why people are frustrated with Trump. I'm frustrated with the whole situation. But let me know. We'll do this. We'll do a poll. Hang tight. So I just put a poll in asking people if they're frustrated with how this is all unfolding. %80 of you so far say yes. All righty. They're saying 19 explosions in Bahrain. I'm not seeing that yet. All right, we got Jennifer Griffin. I'll put this on the screen for you. A total of 20 targets have been hit inside Iran. 20 different locations have been struck, according to Fox News, Jennifer Griffin, inside Iran. There we go. So a massive attack underway, carried out by Trump after they shot down our Apache helicopter. 20 different targets have been hit. So we now wait to see how the U.S. responds to the ballistic missile. The ballistic missiles that are fired probably at a variety of countries. Guys, by the way, I don't know how, in the chat right now, put in the chat how long you've been watching me. Because I got a question for the real old school people who were here years ago. If I go back to interviewing people or bringing guests on a live stream, bringing guests on the show, who would you want to see me interview? Who would you want to see me interview? Let me know in the comments below, and then let me know how long you've been watching the show for. People are saying, thank you for following OPSEC. Yeah, I'm not trying to put our troops in harm. So who would you want to see me interview? Let me know while we wait for updates. What do we got? We got interceptions. So now they're saying we have interceptions over Bahrain. So who was at least here when my home flooded? Does anyone remember when my home flooded? Do we all remember that? Yeah, that was a fun time. That was well over a year ago. $10, Eddie Baker, bring back the Pershing missile system. Is that something that we are thinking about doing? I don't think we've had that active in a long time. Yeah, not since 91 is the last time, the Pershing 2 at least. Thank you very much, Eddie. We should bring back every weapon system that works. Is what you guys want to see me interview Pete Hegseth. Max Afterburner, interview my wife. Well, I could just come in right now. No, I'm kidding. She's not going to come in right now. You guys want me to interview Tucker Carlson? For those of you who don't know, Tucker and I, we go way back. Way. I've known Tucker for 11 years. I've known Tucker for a long time. The stories we could tell. So some of you have only been here a few months. Some of you have been here for years. Okay, cool. So we got a wide range. A lot of you want me to interview my wife. Do you want me to message her right now and see if she's down to do an interview at some point? Marco Rubio. I'm messaging her right now. Someone's like, I want you to interview Douglas Murray. If I debated Douglas Murray right here, he might never do another debate again. Douglas Murray is not going to sit down for a debate with me because he knows what the outcome of that would be. All right, what do we got? Lot for the wife. DJ Shipley, Joe Kent. I've never spoken to DJ Shipley, actually. Don't know him at all. Have never spoken to him. My wife says maybe she'll do an interview. All right, we might have okay, hold tight here. Hold tight. We have video. I'm going to put it on the screen for you. This is an interception in Bahrain at ground level. It's very quick. See that flash right there, right in front of the arrow? That is an interception in Bahrain of what likely I would assume is a drone. Someone said interview Tim Kennedy. Yeah, I think of all the people, there's only one other person who I can guarantee you will also not be interviewing with me. Tim Kennedy, don't even get me started. Do not get me started. Yeah. That ain't happening. All right, what do we got here? All right, I'm going to pull this down. We're still looking into updates. Interview Kim Jong-un. I would. I don't think he'd like how it would go. I don't even know if he speaks English, to be honest with you. I'd interview anybody. My policy on interviews is very simple, or debates, because these would have to be debates. I will debate anybody about anything. I might win the debate. I might lose the debate, but I'll debate anybody. Doesn't matter to me. I think free speech is absolute. And if you don't like someone's ideas, you debate them on those ideas. You don't silence them. You don't cancel them. You don't try to make their life terrible. Bring it all out into the open, debate it, and then let the audience decide who they agree with. So I would debate literally anybody. Interview Nate Valhalla, VFT. I love Nate. I love Nate. Nate was super, super, super helpful for me getting this kind of whole thing started, the live streaming. So I love Nate. My wife is now asking how much she gets paid to appear on the show. This is a small budget operation. She'll have to settle for a dinner at the house, of course. We can't afford to go out. She'll get a nice home-cooked meal. Interview Sean Ryan. What do we got here? All right, guys, we're going to do a couple more minutes. It appears now with the sun up in Iran, this has come to an end. I'll set an alarm for 5 minutes. We'll watch it, but the sun is up in Iran, which would seem to indicate to me that we're probably done for the active firing tonight. So any last super chats you got in? You guys have been amazing. Get them in now. Someone said, I think you and Nate would have some strong disagreements these days. Nate and I can disagree politically all day long. That's fine. That's actually not a bad thing. I like Nate as a dude. He's been super helpful. He's always been incredibly nice to me. And I feel like I've always been incredibly nice to him. And I needed some advice on how to get this set up. He was unbelievably helpful. I don't have to agree on politics with everything, or with another person on everything. If you agree with someone 100% on every issue, you're in a cult. If you agree with 90% of what they agree with, you should vote for them. I forget where that saying came from, but I've always agreed with it. So I don't have a bad thing to say about Nate as a dude. And if we disagree politically, we disagree politically. That's okay. So we've got a lot. You guys are really coming in. Interview Carmelo Anthony. I don't think Carmelo Anthony is going to be doing any interviews for about 35 years or so. We got $10 from George Toller. John Kennedy. I assume you mean the senator, right? Not the former president. I'm kidding. That's a joke. I'd interview him in a heartbeat. I would interview Senator Kennedy in a heartbeat. That guy might be the funniest guy. Might be the funniest guy in government for sure. interview the president. I don't know if Trump would interview with me or not. I'd interview him in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. I'd interview the president no matter who it was. Do you think the U.S. will, I assume will retaliate is what was after Iran's retaliation? If so, will it be small or big? It's a good question. I think we will. I think we will. I think that everything that has happened today, we are probably not done yet. If I had to guess, we are not done yet in terms of what's coming. I would say there's definitely more coming. All right. I do want to end on this note. Who remembers the flood? Who was here with us when the flood happened? If you were here when the flood happened and I had to move out and I'm filming videos in this tiny little living room of this place we were living at the time as they had to rebuild the home. If you were here during the flood, let me know. I'd love to know who here was here, still watching the channel when we lost everything and had to rebuild. And we were gone for a long, long time. The AC's fixed. The AC's fixed. It's good. So we got some. Okay, so several of you were here during the flood. The flood was March 19th, 2025. I know it like it was yesterday. I remember. Oh, I would interview Douglas McGregor, and I would cook Douglas McGregor in a debate. I actually have a really funny. Well, so I said I was going to end sooner, but listen. I have a rule, a personal rule. Private conversations at private events behind closed doors are never to be discussed publicly. I've never done that. I never would do that. I believe that rule is serious. I can tell you from my interaction with Douglas McGregor, and I'll leave it at this, we'll keep it professional. In my personal face-to-face interaction with Douglas McGregor, if him and I debated each other, he would get destroyed. Destroyed. He might never get on camera again. I'm not going to get into specifics. I'm not going to get into what we talked about, what was said. That was said behind closed doors, so we're not going to get into it. I guarantee you, I would destroy him in a debate. Destroy him. That would be the easiest debate maybe I've ever done. All right, guys. So I'm glad many of you were here for the flood. It sucked. It was terrible. But guys, the sun is up in Iran. The attacks have ceased. I think it is time for me to call it a night. I will see you all tomorrow with fresh updates about what is going on. Thank you very much, as always, for spending your Tuesday night with me. We will hopefully continue to do this on a more regular basis now that I'm back home. So you guys have a great night. I will see you all again Wednesday, fresh and early, new video content, new updates. You all have a good one, and I'll see you all later.